Konnichiwa. My name is Chokeanand. Actually, I'm not in the architecture area. I'm work in the industrial design area. And actually today, I have been invited because I work in the area of creativity, design, and innovation. And actually, that is my area of interest. And in school, I work in the graduate program of design planning, which is actually we try to promote the concept of multidisciplinary design. So try to group students that come from different backgrounds and work together in order to generate innovative design. For example, we have architecture students, we have lighting design students, we have visual communication students, design management students, interaction design students, and also urban management students. And we try to encourage students to work together. That help. We try to encourage them to work together in order to generate possible solutions for the futures. And what I want to show actually is the representation of my concept in terms of design management, which is actually the area that I'm interested is about the future. You know, how to create the design futures, which is actually when I study in, actually I'm graduate in the UK in Goldsmith College, and my professor work in this area, so I'm interested. So that's why I'm still pursuing in this area. And actually I want to show one project, which is actually we work in the classroom. The subject is called visionary design, and I think that is quite representative of what I'm doing now, so I just want to show. So perhaps you can Again, sorry for the technical problem. So this is actually show the environments in Thailand, which is actually, so let's finish the video first and then we'll talk about that. this is a project is about Sao local city. So the idea that I want to show is how to think about new solution for the city. For this project, students try to use the sound to represent the way that we recognize the identity of the building within the city. So that's why you see that when the video shows that when we walk through different locations in the city, so we can recognize the building from the sound. So this is actually what design management that we are working. We try to generate the new possible solution in any area of design. And actually today I'm not really talk about visionary design, but we'll talk about eco-rejuvenation, which is actually the concept that we work in the class called eco-product innovation. Normally I will use my class as the research lab, in order to experiment with the new concept in terms of working with the student in order to come up with the new possible solution. So I will actually have the aspects that I will discuss with you. The first one we talk about eco-management models, which is actually the eco-design approach, which is right now there are two approaches, which is actually I will introduce first, and after that I will show the concept of the eco-rejuvenation, which is actually the idea that we develop further from two existing models. And final, I will show that the eco-rejuvenation projects, which is actually the students have been work on this kind of concept of eco-rejuvenation and come up with the idea, of how to use this concept in order to generate the new creative and living system. So first, eco-management model. So I think that you have been seeing this works a lot in the eco-design studies. So for examples, non-toxicity, carbon footprint, design for environment, dematerialization, whatever. This kind of the words or the terms that you will see a lot in this area. So two concepts which is now existing called eco-efficiency and eco-effectiveness. I'm not sure here anyone focused in the eco-design area. No. But actually eco-design area, I think the idea that I try to propose is not, you remember as the eco concept, but you can use like the thinking principle behind the concept in order to use for develop your have design concept as well. So I will introduce the first one, the eco-efficiency. So the concept of eco-efficiency is very simple. It's about how you reduce how to use the resources. Okay. So when you try to reduce the resources, you try to generate a solution that offer more value than the current offerings while reducing resource use and environmental impact. So that's the concept of eco-efficiency. So the idea is try to help you to think about how to bring back the resources that you already use now and bring back to use in the system. For example, like the Coca-Cola bottle, that water, which is actually, I think that is very popular in Japan, right? Which is reduce the use of the plastic about 30%, right? And then when you finish using it, you can twist it, right? Compress it, and then throw it away. So this is actually the three key aspects of the frameworks of the eco-efficiency: zero waste, zero resources, and the zero impact. Zero waste, we know that recycle, reuse. Zero resources, we try to expand products. Lifespan, we try to increase the resource productivities. We try to dematerializations. And zero impact, so we try to reduce the carbon dioxide emission, and we try to actually reduce something which is toxic for the environment. So this is actually the process. Well, the eco-efficiency, actually they will call this idea, it's the cradle to grave concept. Cradle to grave concept is mean that when you start with the materials, you go through the design, production, products, and user and waste. Normally, the waste actually will end somewhere, which is actually not go back to the same materials again. So the concept of eco-efficiency normally we talk about the open loops, process, which is not really connect material with the rest of it. So this is actually quite quick, the presentation. So this is the examples of the eco-efficiency idea, which is actually applied in the business in Thailand. This brand is called Ochisu. Ochisu actually used the waste from the construction site and the industrial production. So, for example, they use like the plastic from the I think from the consumer waste they use like this one is the sandpaper from the construction site, and this one actually is the kind of small pieces of wood that they compress it and try to create a new values for the products. For the Ochisu, what they try to do, they think that they try to turn waste to become luxury products. So that is the ideas of how they bring it. And this is another concept from Prapayom, which is Prapayom Kalayano from the Suan temple. Actually, he created the idea of waste reuse program, which is actually he tried to collect all the unused products. For example, furnitures, refrigerators, fan, and then bring it to the temple, and then he, teach the local people in order to fix it, fix the furnitures, fix the television, and then he actually distribute back to the community. So this is actually the existing model of the concept of eco-efficiency. So eco-effectiveness is different. So this idea they call it cradle-to-cradle development, and this idea is come from William McDonald and Michael Walker, which is actually William McDonald's architect. So what's the idea is they actually, the principle of eco-effectiveness is about waste eco-friendly. So they try to actually think about how you not really lost any material in the system. So how we're gonna develop something which is actually, eco-efficiency have some limitation. So try to actually do things in the closed loop way. And actually, this is a framework that they are working right now, cradle to cradle, in terms of biodegradables, quality output in terms of healthy waste, and also the synergistic relationship in terms of economy, ecologies, reinvention, positive coupling. So this is the concept. So this is actually, if you look at the whole process, you will see that this process is called, cradle to cradle, and it's closed loop. So they actually will bring waste to become like the raw materials. So this is actually the concept. When they talk about the closed loop, they have two aspects: the biological nutrient and the technical nutrient. So the biological nutrient is means that all the waste will actually go back to the natures and becomes, the materials, which is actually grow plants and then, try to create the products again. And also the technical nutrients, the products actually would go back to the recycling, manufacturing, and produce the new materials in order to bring back to the process of production again. And actually, this is examples of the products that now existing. Unfortunately, we not really implement this concept in Thailand yet, eco-effectiveness. But in the world, right now they have like the time effects, which is actually the fabrics that create from wool, and then actually once they finish it, they actually can kind of decompose it, and then kind of bring it used as a resource, and then grow the fabrics, and then bring it to the production process. And also very popular example is from steel case, Herman Miller, the chair called Miller, who the components you can send it back to the production, and then they can actually make the new parts of the product and send it back to the consumer again. So this is actually the existing model of the eco-effectiveness and eco-efficacies. So what I actually developed further is called eco-rejuvenation. So we try to implement the concept is not just only reduce and also maintain resources, but we actually try to reproduce, we try to grow a new system. So this is actually the key argument. In the eco-rejuvenation approach is to sustain and revitalize any existing systems that not only reproduce healthy natural system but also grow a new system as well. So this concept has been developed in order to push the barrier of the existing eco-management models to the next level, the level of revitalization, ecology system, and sustainable growth. So this is actually my argument, which is actually I put it and try to encourage the student to use this principle in order to apply for their design process. And this is actually, if you look at the kind of the product life cycle process, you will see that the increasing of the small ring here, which is actually help the student in try to think about how to not just only think about the closed loop, but how to grow things along the lines of the product life cycle. So not just only in terms of thinking about the whole industrial system, but how to grow up something else as well. So I have 2 projects from students, which is actually will help you to understand better about the eco-rejuvenation. And actually these 2 projects have been done through the class called Eco Product Innovation. So before the student have experiment on this kind of product life cycle, they use the eco product innovation process in order to go through the whole thinking process and come up with the eco rejuvenation process. So first project is called Lunar Plant That Light. So hope you enjoy it. So actually,
it has been so long that humans and the environment have been living together, but the urbanization never stopped, and we keep using the energy that we won't be able to give it back. In this project, we are about to show you how do we come up with a possible solution that will not only just give us a free, unlimited energy, but will allow us to give it back to our world. Lunar Plant That Light. With the Eco Project Development Framework, we started by coming up with a topic to start, a bedroom luminaire, in which we interviewed possible users to find light needs. These needs later on help us to construct our first QFBE diagram, an environmental version of QFB, in which the factors such as biodegradability, carbon emissions, and other environmental factors are brought into account. Using all these factors to further investigate more information to come up with the alternative product concept. From external search, a glowing DNA engineering plant project is found using a substance known Bussracumpakorn, which can be found in jellyfish, firefly, or some mushroom species.
So this is the guy that developed the plant.
My name is Rose. I'm designer slash artist slash architect from the Netherlands, and we're here in Austin, Texas, in Southwest. Well, one of the reasons why I went to USA is because they have a quite liberal agenda of merging the worlds of nature and technology. In the last year, I really became fond of biomimicry. So what can we learn from nature and apply that to the built environment, to roads, to public spaces, to our urban landscape? When you have a jellyfish deep underwater, it creates its own light. You know, it does not have a battery or a solar panel or an energy bill. It does that completely autonomous. What can we learn from that? This is one of the first explorations where we merge the luciferin, the element which produces light, in a firefly or in a jellyfish, merging it with existing plants. So these are plants which actually at night they glow, you know, without any battery, without any solar panel. And this is one of the first editions that was just shipped to my hotel room, and I'm really excited to have one of the first in my hand. This is a very small version, which is produced in New York by a university there. And right now we're teaming up with them to make a really large one, like a tree, which glows at night, instead of standard street lighting. Yeah, I mean, come on, that will be incredibly fascinating to have this energy neutral, but at the same time this very poetic landscapes. Yeah. And I think in the end, technology will completely disappear. I don't think we'll be looking at screens so much again anymore in the coming 10-15 years. So what happens when technology comes out of the computer screen and becomes a part of the things that we wear, the roads that we drive on? That's, I think, where the real challenge lays.
Not only external information, we also use the internal search technique, mind mapping, which later gone through a solution finding technique, morphological analysis. We came up with 8 ideas from different angles. Among these, we select just one, which is found to meet our environmental needs the most. We then reinput this new design back into QMTE diagrams. Looking into environmental design issues, we create 3 worlds of products in which eco-efficiency and eco-effectiveness concepts are not already exist. Both different in ways they utilize the producing material and product concept. However, we are looking for a further beyond concept, eco-rejuvenation, and this is where Lunar project starts. Luna, the plant that light. Lunar is biological luminaire. It is a real biological genetic engineering plant. Luciferin is used to enhance the glowing effect in which the plants will consume the food, such as oxygen and nutrient from soil, and convert it into illumination, the same way that firefly does. This process is called bioluminescence. As a raw material, Luna itself is a biological plant which is 100% living organism. It breathes, it grows, and it dies. And of course, it can be reproduced and revolved. In the design and developing process, a concept of light, color theory, which affect the mood of humans, are being used to create a whole line of lunar product family. Knowing the color of plants are varied by its natural color-giving pigments, such as chlorophyll, that give green, beta-carotene, which give orange, picoline, which give either red and purple. Lunar is luminaire, which gives true light from natural. In the production process, as we already mentioned, lunar is plant. We farm lunar in an organic environment. No chemical is used. The farming site is meant to be located in the rural farming remote area. This will create jobs for people, bringing their students back to their hometown, becoming a part of lunar, returning green to the world. Lunar products and services have been extended from lunar, in which more types of plants will be released in every year. Lunabed, a nutrition bar which creates a greater connection between lunar and your lifestyle, will make this more fun to family. And of course, It is biodegradable. Lunar Hive, a community service for lunarists where you can share your lunar information with your neighbors. This can be accessed from lunarist.com. Lunar Training Course will help guiding a new lunarist like you to know how to take care of lunar. Lunar is plants which you can grow and farm them at home. This will be fun for children and parents to help each other create a new young generation of lunar babies. For those who are curious and want to develop their own lunar, developer course also available to guide you the fundamental knowledge to evolve your lunar. Remember, the lunar offspring will tend to give a brighter light than their parents. For end users, lunar promotes the personal conscious of gardening and planting. This can start from a very small unit, such as yourself or your community. Users learn to give more green to their house, give more opportunity to green, and bring it back to the world. For lunar, waste is merely nothing more than just giving a new life. Lunarists can choose to use lunar debris as their own fertilizer for their next lunar generations, or sharing them to your lunarist neighbors through lunarist.com. Lunar debris can also be used as a raw material for making lunar beds, in which you can earn points for sending lunar debris back to us using our provided with original package biodegradable bag. These points can later be redeemed for new lunar or lunar bed discounts. You can also choose to donate the redemption points for lunar, which will be given to the third country.
Actually, the concept that students use the rejuvenation process in order to think and come up with the kind of the ideas, not just only in terms of thinking as the kind of closed loop system, but also contribute to grow something else as well along the process. Okay. Another one which is actually a project which is actually called Glow to Grow. Some of the members are here as well. But this video will not really have the sounds, but actually you have to pay a little bit attention because actually it's text-based, but it's quite slow, so you can go through it quite easily. So I will show this video, and you will understand the concept a bit more. So this is Glow to Grow, about the bicycle community. This is actually the bike lane, self-illuminating bike lane. So this is actually another project which is actually help just only the phosphorus, the luminescence that used for the bicycle lane actually can help, help to grow the community of the bicycle and also grow the communities that along the ways that the bicycle route have been extended through the city. So this is actually two projects that we have been working with the students, and actually what I try to present it today, I just want the student try to apply this concept for the creative city as well. And I hope that this model of thinking will help you to think, beyond what you actually seeing what's going on right now. Okay. So to wrap up, eco-rejuvenation approach is still at the beginning stage, because actually we have been working in this concept for 2 years, but kind of we slowly grow, because actually in the area of eco management, not so many talk about this. Normally they talk about eco-efficiency a lot and eco-effectiveness, which is actually broadcast is the master in this area. So that's why I try to develop another area which is actually talk in terms of eco-management in a different way. There is no solid principle or method. This allows, because we have no solid and principle and method, so this actually is a good opportunity for kind of students or anyone to think beyond the concept of eco-efficiency and eco-effectiveness. And actually it's not only reduce resources within and remain closed-loop system, but also revitalize and grow the system as well. So actually this is the summary of my presentation today.